This is exactly the spark that the New York Jets have needed out of their team, as after rookie camp has gone through and we've seen some players struggle to find themselves, the New York Jets have gotten major boosts in multiple areas, and fans are going to be absolutely thrilled for all of this, as head coach Aaron Glenn is already looking like one of the best coaches the Jets have had potentially ever, and we're going to break it all down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Jets Digest. It's Chris and Matt here. And we're going to jump right into this video as always. Guys, if you're part of that 69% that's not subscribed to Jets Digest, make sure to subscribe for all that daily New York Jets news that we all know and love. But let's jump into the video. There is a lot to discuss on the New York Jets. We've seen some players struggle in this Jets rookie camp, while other players have shown up and shown out for this team, with head coach Aaron Glenn watching along and doing everything that Jets fans have been hoping for, as he's building the culture within this team. And on top of that, is very much pushing this team to be their best selves, and we've seen some guys completely succeed under that. And we're going to jump right into this, Matt, because there is a few different people to talk about here. Starting with the fact that Arian Smith has been phenomenal. As mentioned by Nick Faria of Jets X Factor, no one's helped their cause this week more than Jets fourth-round rookie Arian Smith. The Speed Demon showcased that athleticism in droves and also showed drastic improvements in catching the football. Should that continue when veterans join the rookies, there's a legitimate chance that Smith may be in contention for wide receiver 2 this year. The fact that Glenn raved about him the following minicamp is just the latest example that this team believes the Georgia product can be the steal of the entire draft moving forwards. We know that the Jets absolutely love this man right here in Arian Smith. It's been very much noticed that he is a guy who, if he could get the catching down, which has been the big concern, is he's an incredibly fast runner. That is really going to be what matters most here, Matt, because Smith, I mean, one of the fastest people the Jets have drafted in a very long time, just going by 40 time, and we've seen that go 1 for 3 thus far. We've seen Garrett Wilson, who's also had a great speed, have a lot of success, obviously, but we've also seen guys like Denzel Mims and Elijah Moore who didn't exactly pan out as well, but the Jets, they believe heavily in Arian Smith.
When taking a look at the New York Jets depth chart, it's obvious that one of the biggest holes, if not the biggest hole on their roster, is at wide receiver 2 position. Arian Smith is someone that the Jets clearly believe in, showcased by the fact that they took him much higher in the draft than many draft analysts were projecting him to go. He is really, really fast, like we're saying, and there is no doubt in my mind that Aaron Glenn thinks that Arian Smith can have an effect on the New York Jets offense the same way that Jameson Williams had an effect on the Detroit Lions offense. Jameson Williams drafted in the first round despite coming off of a torn ACL. He also had a gambling suspension, but once he got on the field, he was able to stress defenses vertically in a way that the Detroit Lions were not able to stress defenses before, and that's what the plan is for Arian Smith. The number one knock on him is, of course, the drops. Now, you're going to hear a lot of smart people talk about how drops are an overrated stat when it comes to success in the NFL, and they're absolutely right. The poster boy for problematic college drop percentage and then having success in the NFL is Puka Nacua, but his drop percentage at BYU was 4.6. Arian Smith in 2024, his drop rate was 11.8%. We're dropping 9 out of 76 targets. That's more than double as high as Puka Nacua's was. So this drop problem is an absolute real issue that he has to overcome. I'm glad to hear that he's doing better at rookie camp, but we have to keep in mind that is a small sample size, and it is a good sign going forwards, but it's not the be-all, end-all going forwards. So once more guys come in, Arian Smith is going to have a chance to fight for that wide receiver 2 position. Hopefully he's able to, improve and earn that spot, but he has a long way to go, and I'm not yet fully convinced that his drop problem is solved.
Yeah, absolutely, especially considering that a lot of his dropped passes in those times, out of those 9, I want to say it's 5 or 6 of them were in that first or fourth quarter. So there was a good percentage of them. This is from Rich Samini. I'm not just making this up. I saw your face.
What does that stat mean?
I'd rather him not drop passes in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And on top of that, also, there was 3 of them that were on first downs as well. So not exactly something that you're looking at and you're like, nice. But at the same time, as you mentioned, Puka was able to fix it, and given lower drop percentage. So looking here at Arian Smith, the Jets love him. They believe in him. They believe in him fixing that drop problem. He's a two-time champion at Georgia. He really got the most of his burn in his final season in 2024, where he had 48 receptions in that span. Look, he was great. And he had 817 yards per reception at 17, 4 touchdowns. There was a lot to like from his game, getting 58.4 yards per game. And he also rushed the ball 5 times for 54 yards as well, just showcasing that speed entirely. So there's a lot to like about Smith. It's a matter of if he could find his path and get past the issues. But there's also another player that has been the best UDFA from the Jets so far. As Faria mentions that if Smith was the biggest winner of the 2025 draft class, then Michigan running back Donovan Edwards was the biggest winner of the undrafted group in attendance this week for the Jets. Edwards doesn't have blazing fast speed, but he showed patience and good maneuverability to find gaping holes during that 11-on-11 work. He's bottlenecked by his position at this point, but Edwards is going to make things very interesting moving forward for the running back room. Matt, as we know, very deep running back room between the Jets' three-headed monster that all is going to be used this season. So it does make it tough for an instant spot for Edwards, but he's someone clearly the Jets are going to want to keep around in some aspect.
Yeah, Donovan Edwards was a player that a lot of college football fans expected to be drafted higher than he actually, or I guess drafted at all. But if you looked at the analytics for Donovan Edwards over the last 2 seasons at Michigan, his analytics, they weren't just worse than the other running backs. He was dead last for the relevant running backs to be drafted in pretty much every single stat. Donovan Edwards, I think the hype behind him is, one, everyone sees him a lot because the Michigan offensive line was really, really good and they won a lot of games. So people watched him in the playoffs where he had a fantastic championship game. But the analytics are really, really bad on this player. One of the things that, the reason why I feel like people like him is because he looks cool. Like, he has drip when he's on the field. He has, a cool visor, he has a cool arm sleeve, because he's not a good player. You watch him when he makes cuts, his shoulders are very high. He's not a very effective cutter. So that's why he did not go drafted. Now, we talk about him having a better camp. Now, they're not fully hitting at camp. So I am not fully convinced on this yet, but let's say he is having a really good camp. Just like you said, the bottleneck at running back, where does he slide in? He's not outplaying Breece Hall. You have to imagine he's not going to outplay Braylon Allen. So he's going for Isaiah Davis's spot, because Quinnen Williams is currently our 4th running back on our depth chart. But if you remember when he was signed, he's not signed to play running back. He's signed to be a kick returner. So Donovan Edwards, if he wants to make this roster, he's going to have to turn into a good kick returner. And kick returners, there's a lot of north and south that goes into that. You're not supposed to be running, east to west, back and forth. So as a kick returner, he has good hands. He catches the ball a lot, does Donovan Edwards. So that could be a good fit for him on the New York Jets. And that is, looking at, like you said, that three-headed monster, that's probably the best way for Donovan Edwards to steal a roster spot, because the way our running back room is looking, even if he does continue to show up, it's still going to be really tough for him to find a roster spot.
Yeah, it feels like he's just found himself in a tough position here, but if nothing else, if the Jets are liking him, they'll probably try to keep him around on the practice squad or something if he can't find somewhere else to go. And it would be interesting. Most likely he'll somewhere be involved with the New York Jets, at least for the near future where things stand. But also, Matt, not everyone plays well at Jets rookie camp. Some guys, they don't succeed. For instance, if I went there, I would not succeed. But I'm not in the NFL. Who is in the NFL and didn't succeed is Malachi Corley. Corley struggled, and it was mentioned by Faria that Smith is doing what Corley did not in his rookie year, impressing the coaches in practice. The Yak King will need a massive OTA and training camp session if he's going to make the roster moving forwards, even if it means playing on special teams. As things stand right now, Smith was a clear winner from the last couple of days, and that's terrible news for Corley. With a new regime in place that did not draft him, Corley needs to earn his spot on the team. Matt, Aaron Glenn said there's no depth chart right now. Everyone has to earn their spot. And frankly, Corley is someone who last year we barely saw play, and the most memorable part, and we've talked about this, is the fact that he was about to get a touchdown and he dropped the ball at the 1-yard line because he dropped it too early. And it's hard to even put into words that that's your most remembered play in your rookie year, because it's one of your only plays as well. So it's not like he was on the field and he had a bunch of chances to score a touchdown or make up for that. That was his moment, and he completely botched it. Now he goes into this team that very different regime, didn't draft him. They drafted Smith. They like Smith. Lazard's still there. Josh Reynolds is there. Corley finds himself in a tough spot right now.
Malachi Corley, there isn't an official depth chart set in stone, but according to ESPN, he's behind the 3 wide receivers you just mentioned, as well as Tyler Johnson and Xavier Gibson. Now, currently ESPN has Arian Smith below Malachi Corley, but it definitely sounds like Arian Smith will soon be jumping him. So that's just another guy that Malachi Corley is going to be stuck behind. One of the problems that he has is a stat that you actually brought up earlier. It was Arian Smith's rushing yards at Georgia. I think you said 5 carries for over 50 yards.
Yeah.
So over 10 yards per carry, we know that would give another dimension to the Jets offense on sort of a jet sweep motion. And the problem with Malachi Corley being the rack king is that was supposed to be his position and his job and his specialty. One of the things that made him a 3rd round pick instead of a day 3 pick was the fact that he was so effective with the football in his hands. But if there's another player who this regime wants to put the football in their hands more, there's only so many carries going around to wide receivers. So if Arian Smith's taking them, then it would be a very long shot for Malachi Corley to even make the roster, which sucks to say. But, if you're not a first and it's maybe a lot of even 2nd round picks, you are not safe at all when a new regime comes in. They have no attachment to Malachi Corley. It doesn't matter to them whether Malachi Corley succeeds or not, so he's going to get 0 benefit of the doubt. Aaron Glenn and Darren Mougey want to see their picks work out, so if they're on the fence between Arian Smith and Malachi Corley, they're going to make sure Arian Smith gets the opportunity to show that he is indeed the guy, and that does not bode well for Malachi Corley, which I am not rooting for because I was a fan of his coming out of college. I thought he could have been a player who really made a difference in the NFL if he could refine his route running. To this date, that still has not happened. It was a bad situation, him being someone who needed targets and touches designed for him. Going to the offense who used the 31st most motion in the NFL was, of course, never going to be a good fit for him. And unfortunately, it did continue the trend of Joe Douglas missing on day 2 and 3 receiving positions. So not a good look for Malachi Corley. Hopefully, he still has time, like you said, still has OTAs and training camp. Hopefully, he can still turn it around because that wide receiver room, unlike the running back room, it's wide open. After Garrett Wilson, every single spot is up for grabs.
Absolutely. And, Corley, he saw success at the college level. In 2022, he had over 1,000 yards. He had 1,295 yards on 101 receptions. On top of that, he also rushed the ball for 87 yards in 11 attempts. And then the following year, he played 2 less games, still had 984 yards, still had 11 touchdowns receiving. On top of that, only rushed the ball for 11 yards in 4 attempts. So, bit down there, but still obviously a great college season. Was picked in the 3rd round because there was a lot to like about him at the NFL level. We barely even saw him. The man has 9 games to his name right now, according to Pro Football Reference. Had 3 receptions for 16 yards, rushed the ball twice, had 26 yards when he rushed, but it's just he didn't show anything. He showed that he made a nice play and dropped the ball. That's what he showed. And as you mentioned, there's a bunch of wide receivers already ahead of him. He finds himself in a tough spot right now. And it's not like the Jets are going to trade him. He has no value. So he has to work really hard to not get cut from this team, which very few people probably would have imagined us talking about a year ago. So it's a tough situation. Hopefully Corley bounces back. What do you guys think about all this? Let us know in the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day. I'm struggling. My allergies are killing me. Go Jets.